Riley Public Library, and today we're going to be making a book pages pumpkin. So I have one that I did earlier this week, and I'm going to try to improve on it in a number of ways, which I will tell you about as we go through the supplies you're going to need. So for starters, you are going to want to draw out a little pumpkin. I found that this is a little too big. It doesn't sit very well, and it does take up a fair amount of space, which is not a problem if that's what you want to do. You'll just want to know that it's going to take up this much space. So then I went and cut it out of a piece of cardboard to give it a little more sturdy on the book, and I am just going to clip it on. I was able to use a binder clip for this one, but this book is quite a bit thicker. This book is about 400 pages. It does take a while to get through them all. And so this one was about 250. I'd say it took at least an hour to get through all the tearing. The first time around, I did use an X-Acto knife, and I didn't really like the way it looked, but you definitely could do that. And then when we are finished tearing, we're going to want to hot glue the spine so that it sits as a circle. You'll also want some twine and some Mod Podge so that we're able to make a stem. And then on the outside, this looks a little red, but we are going to paint the edge to give it a little more rustic pumpkin color. And then you'll just want some paintbrushes to finish that off. So let's get started. Okay, so after about 1,000 years of tearing, I am done with this part so far. So I did go around and I broke the spine between every single page, which I found actually helps it open way more. So we haven't even glued it yet, and it's sitting at least like 75% open, which is awesome because I did not do that for the first one. And so you can see it like opens in chunks. I also made the mistake of taking off part of the spine for this. So I still haven't taken off the covers yet because I'm scared, because when I did that for these, you can see that in some places the pages were like ready to come out, and that was a little distressing because I had put exactly the same amount of time into this one and it was starting to fall apart. So next up, I am going to glue it into full pumpkin shape. I'm gonna glue in the spine. I did cut out a little piece of cardboard that I'm planning to put inside just to give it something to hold on to all the way around. I don't want just an empty gap in the middle. I think it'd be a little more secure if there was something for it to hold on in the middle. And then after that, we are going to make the stem. I did find this nice little plastic leaf that I'm going to use to give it a little more character. Pop that in the middle. And so we have a couple of steps up, so let's get to it. Okay, so while my hot glue is warming up, I'm going to go ahead and start the stem. So I've got some pink edge. So this one was a little bit too, I think, thin. It probably actually would be the perfect size for this one. And I did paint this. I don't particularly like it, so I think I'm just gonna Mod Podge it, and if I change my mind, maybe I will paint it later, but I think that this is a perfectly fine color. And so I am just going to cut something similar size. I'm gonna try to make it a little more curly because I kind of like the way that that looks. We grow pumpkins in my backyard, and we used to get like 4 or 5, and I think this year we got 3. So they just like blow up behind our house, and through our fence you can see them. It's really quite funny. Okay, so we are just gonna cut several strands of twine, and I'm just making them roughly the same length. I don't really think that it matters a great deal because I'm just going to Mod Podge them to try to keep them intertwined, and also going to Mod Podge them to make that curly shape. So we are going to do that next. But I was having issues keeping the twine twisted while I was applying the Mod Podge, so I did just paper clip it to the paper plate and Mod Podged it, and that twisted. And then once it dries, I'm going to do another layer in the spiral shape that I want to come out of the pumpkin. I'm going to do that, and then afterwards we will stick that in the book. Figure out the shape, how we're going to do that, and then we will hot glue it closed. I want to make sure that that's secure inside the spine, where we're going to hot glue it around to make sure that it doesn't come out and that we don't have any problems putting it in later. And then that's when we'll also put the leaf in. We'll hot glue it closed, and then after, the last thing we'll need to do is paint it, just the edges, and then we'll be all done. So that is it. We have a wonderful, cute little fall book pumpkin. I have to say, I think that the third time's the charm, because this one looks a lot better than this bad boy, which is wonderful. I'm really glad that I was able to learn and improve. It's way better. So two things. I did go back and separate each page because painting it kind of made them clump together. And so this looks a lot more full than it did just a couple of minutes ago. I also would recommend maybe painting it before you hot glue it together. I had some issues holding it upside down while I was painting it, and then also like the stem and the leaves have a little bit of orange on them. But just a few things to improve on. I don't think I'm going to make a fourth one, but I do sure like the last one I came up with. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.